No one suspected that such monuments were even possible at such an early date, with some people arguing that only some advanced Ice Age civilization, previously undetected by archaeologists, must have been responsible.
By all accounts, we are looking, if we take what's still under the ground into account, we're looking at the largest megalithic site that's ever been created on Earth.
Göbekli Tepe is a site that truly boggles the mind, taking us back over 11,000 years to a time when prehistoric peoples demonstrated remarkable capabilities that challenge our understanding of early human civilization.
The sudden appearance, 7,000 years before Stonehenge, of a megalithic site that dwarfs Stonehenge, to me that's a mystery, and it's really worth inquiring into.
Imagine this. Massive stone pillars, each carved from limestone using nothing more than simple stone tools. It's a task that would require not just considerable skill, but a collective effort from a group of people who had yet to discover the wheel or metal tools. These pillars weren't just any stones, they were shaped into T-forms, a design that's unique to Göbekli Tepe, standing up to 5.5 meters tall and weighing up to 20 tons.
One of the many ways that Göbekli Tepe, I think, is going to prove to be a game changer is it's going to require us to reconsider our whole dating sequence on megalithic sites around the world.
The effort to transport and erect these massive stones without modern technology is nothing short of astonishing. Using levers, ropes and wooden sledges, the people of Göbekli Tepe managed to move these enormous stones over considerable distances, a testament to their ingenuity and teamwork. This wasn't a small feat, it required a high level of social organization and cooperation, suggesting that this community was far from the nomadic bands of hunter-gatherers we often imagine.
So why did archaeologists tell us for so long hunter-gatherers couldn't do it, and we needed agricultural populations that could generate surpluses that could pay for the specialists
that was the theory.
Instead, they were capable of complex planning and communal effort, likely driven by shared beliefs and common goals. The technological innovation and architectural planning evident in Göbekli Tepe's construction are truly ahead of their time. The precision in the carving and erection of the pillars, along with the thoughtful layout of the site, show an advanced understanding of stone masonry and basic engineering principles. This sophistication challenges the simplistic view we often have of prehistoric societies, revealing a people capable of complex thought and remarkable feats of engineering. When you dive into the story of Göbekli Tepe, you're not just exploring ancient ruins, you're stepping into a world where prehistoric peoples pulled off engineering marvels that would be daunting even by today's standards. Picture this, a community back in the 10th millennium BCE without access to metal tools, the wheel, or any form of animal labor, decides to build something extraordinary. They set their sights on massive limestone pillars, each one towering over 5 meters high and weighing around 10 tons. And they decide to quarry, shape, transport, and erect these giants using nothing but stone hammers, wooden tools, and sheer human will. It's a scenario that might make a modern engineer blink twice. These ancient builders leveraged ingenious methods, likely rolling these colossal stones over logs or dragging them on sleds made from tree trunks, all coordinated by what must have been an incredible communal effort. Just imagine the sight, hundreds of people coming together, each one playing a part in this monumental task. It wasn't just about physical strength, it required a high degree of planning, coordination, and social organization, suggesting that these early communities were far more complex than we often give them credit for. And let's talk about the layout of Göbekli Tepe. It wasn't a haphazard arrangement of stones.
Göbekli Tepe is a bit more nuanced. You know, we have stone circles, we have some interesting astronomical alignments, the world's first perfectly north-south aligned building.
These T-shaped pillars were carefully positioned to form circular enclosures, a testament to the builders' advanced planning and knowledge of stonemasonry. They understood the properties of limestone, knew how to quarry large blocks and shape them with precision. The placement of each pillar was intentional, reflecting a deep understanding of geometry and structural engineering. Göbekli Tepe is like a time capsule that's slowly revealing its secrets to us, and among its most captivating mysteries are the potential astronomical alignments hidden within its ancient stone circles. Imagine standing among these massive pillars over 10,000 years ago, looking up at the night sky. Some researchers think that the people who built Göbekli Tepe did more than just admire the stars. They aligned their monumental structures with them. The idea that these ancient builders could align their creations with constellations like Sirius or Orion, or mark the solstices and equinoxes, is mind-blowing. It suggests they were not just master builders, but also early astronomers, tracking the heavens with an accuracy that challenges our assumptions about prehistoric peoples. This possibility opens up all sorts of fascinating questions about how and why they did this. If the alignments at Göbekli Tepe were intentional, it could mean that these ancient builders had their own form of astronomical observation, maybe even a basic calendar system. Göbekli Tepe and the lack of evidence for permanent settlement presents a fascinating glimpse into the spiritual life of people over 11,000 years ago. This site, rather than serving as a home or village, appears to have been a significant ceremonial or pilgrimage destination. The absence of typical domestic remains such as extensive cooking hearths or trash pits that would indicate long-term habitation suggests that Göbekli Tepe was not a place where people lived year-round. Instead, it was likely visited by various groups for specific purposes, possibly related to religious or spiritual practices. This realization points to a level of social complexity and spiritual or religious depth that predates the advent of agriculture and settled life, challenging the conventional sequence of societal development. The stone pillars of Göbekli Tepe, carved with an impressive array of reliefs and symbols, are among the earliest known examples of narrative art, offering profound insights into the prehistoric mind. These carvings feature a diverse menagerie of animals: foxes, lions, bulls, snakes, wild boars, and birds, each meticulously rendered, suggesting a deep reverence or symbolic significance attached to these creatures. The presence of such carvings indicates not only advanced artistic skills and aesthetic sensibilities, but also suggests these animals held particular meanings for the people who created them. They could represent clan totems, spiritual guides, or mythological stories central to the community's beliefs and rituals. Moreover, the humanoid figures, some of which appear to be depicted wearing animal skins, hint at early forms of shamanistic practices, or the veneration of deities or priests donned in ceremonial garb. These figures could represent intermediaries between the physical world and the spiritual realm, playing crucial roles in the rituals and ceremonies conducted at the site. The abstract symbols found alongside the more representational carvings add another layer of complexity to our understanding of Göbekli Tepe's spiritual significance. These symbols could be early attempts at encoding sacred knowledge, marking significant events, or conveying complex concepts related to cosmology, theology, or social order. The carvings on Göbekli Tepe's pillars, therefore, are not merely decorative, but are deeply imbued with meaning, serving as a tangible connection to the beliefs, rituals, and cosmologies of prehistoric peoples. They provide a window into a world where spirituality was expressed through the medium of stone, and where the natural and supernatural realms were closely intertwined. The story of Göbekli Tepe is like something out of a movie, an ancient site buried under tons of soil and debris around 8000 BCE, only to be rediscovered and shake up everything we thought we knew about the dawn of civilization. This wasn't just a case of a lost city getting swallowed up by the sands of time. It was an intentional act, a massive project that likely took as much effort and organization as the construction of the site itself. Why would a society go through such lengths to bury this place? The theories are as fascinating as they are varied, ranging from ritualistic closure to a strategic move for preservation against natural disasters or even invasions. But here's the kicker. Göbekli Tepe turns the Neolithic Revolution's narrative on its head. The common story is that agriculture kick-started the rise of complex societies and monumental architecture.
The idea that we come across that another turn of the spade reveals information that causes us to reconsider not just was it hunter-gatherers or agriculturalists, but perhaps something bigger than this is involved.
Yet here we have an elaborate complex built by hunter-gatherers long before farming took hold. It suggests that the impulse to gather for religious or ceremonial reasons might have been a driving force behind settling down and forming communities. This discovery forces us to rethink not just the timeline of human history, but the very factors that drive societal development. Göbekli Tepe shows us that hunter-gatherer societies were capable of a level of organization, cooperation, and spiritual expression that we usually only attribute to settled farming communities. It hints at a world where shared beliefs and rituals were the glue that held societies together, potentially paving the way for the transition to a sedentary lifestyle.
There's huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all. Or if looked at by archaeology, looked at only minimally. It's really important to understand that archaeology is often driven by accidental finds.
Ancient structures with astronomical alignments fascinate historians, archaeologists, and astronomers alike, as they offer a glimpse into the sophisticated understanding of celestial movements by ancient civilizations. These structures, often monumental, not only served religious or cultural purposes, but also acted as precise astronomical observatories, so we think.
We think it makes more sense, take the geology, take the astronomy. This monument has its origins 12,000 years ago.
The majestic pyramids of Giza have stood on the Giza Plateau, near Cairo, Egypt, for millennia, captivating us not just with their monumental architecture, but also with the mysteries of their celestial alignments. These ancient marvels, which include the towering Great Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Khafre, and the smaller Pyramid of Menkora, along with the enigmatic Great Sphinx and several smaller Queen's Pyramids, represent a pinnacle of ancient engineering and astronomical precision.
And that astronomical connection to the stars at that time says to me, we cannot divorce the ancient Egyptians from the Great Pyramid.
It's fascinating to think that the Great Pyramid, with its original height of 146.6 meters, held the title of the tallest man-made structure for over 3,800 years, constructed from an estimated 2.3 million blocks of stone. What really piques curiosity is the precision with which these pyramids are aligned to the cardinal points of the compass. The Great Pyramid's slight deviation from true north by just 3/60th of a degree is a testament to the ancient Egyptians' advanced knowledge of astronomy. They achieved this using the stars, particularly the circumpolar stars, which they deemed imperishable. Even more intriguing is the Orion correlation theory, which suggests the pyramid's layout mirrors the stars in Orion's belt. This celestial mapping not only connects the earthly to the divine, but also underscores the pharaoh's intended journey to join the gods in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians' belief in an afterlife where the pharaoh, as a deity, would join the sun god Ra in his daily journey across the sky and through the underworld at night is reflected in the orientation and text of the pyramids. These were not merely tombs, but served as stairways to heaven, ensuring the pharaoh's soul could ascend to the stars. The alignment with Orion's belt, associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife, rebirth and rejuvenation, further cements the pyramid's role in this divine narrative.
That is who Osiris is. His image is seen in the sky as the constellation of Orion.
Drawing a parallel, the ancient Mesoamerican city of Teotihuacan showcases similar astronomical knowledge and architectural grandeur. The main structures at Teotihuacan, notably the Pyramid of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon, and the Temple of the Feathered Serpent, also reflect celestial bodies, echoing the pyramids of Giza's connection with the cosmos. This shared inclination towards understanding and integrating celestial phenomena into architecture highlights a universal human desire to connect with the universe, a theme that transcends time, culture, and geography. The stories these ancient structures tell of humanity's quest to understand the cosmos and our place within it continue to fascinate and inspire. Through their enduring legacy, the pyramids of Giza showcase the ancient Egyptians' remarkable achievements in architecture and astronomy. Continuing our journey through ancient marvels that blend architectural genius with celestial precision, let's turn our gaze to Chichen Itza. This UNESCO World Heritage Site in the Yucatan Peninsula is a dazzling testament to the Maya-Toltec civilization flourishing from the 7th to the 10th century AD. Among its many wonders, the Temple of Kukulkan, or El Castillo, stands out as a symbol of the Mayans' advanced understanding of astronomy and their calendar system. El Castillo is not just any pyramid, it's a four-sided structure with 91 steps on each side and one additional step at the top, totaling 365 steps. This clever design mirrors the solar year, encapsulating the Mayas' profound connection with time itself. But the marvels don't stop there. During the equinoxes, a play of light and shadow creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid, culminating in a stone sculpture of a serpent's head at the base. This phenomenon draws crowds from around the world, eager to witness the ancient Mayas' ability to encode astronomical events into their architecture. The descent of this serpent symbolizes the return of Kukulkan, a deity associated with fertility and agriculture. This event likely signaled critical times for planting or harvesting, weaving the cosmos directly into the fabric of daily life and spiritual belief. But the pyramid's mysteries include auditory wonders as well. Claps at the base echo in a way that mimics the sacred Quetzal bird's chirp, perhaps intended to evoke the voice of Kukulkan during rituals. Looking beyond Chichen Itza, we find parallels in the ancient world that resonate with its astronomical sophistication. Machu Picchu, perched high in the Peruvian Andes, shares this celestial alignment, though it reflects the Incan mastery over the landscape and the heavens. Here, structures align with solstices, and the Intihuatana stone serves as an astronomical clock, much like El Castillo's alignments mark the equinoxes. Both Chichen Itza and Machu Picchu stand as testaments to their civilization's astronomical knowledge and architectural prowess. They remind us of the universal human desire to understand and integrate the cosmos into our lives, a theme as old as civilization itself. Through their enduring legacy, these ancient sites continue to captivate and inspire, offering glimpses into a time when the sky was a map, a clock, and a canvas to align our creations with the stars. Diving deeper into our exploration of ancient sites that masterfully intertwine architecture with celestial phenomena, let's venture to the Emerald Isle, where Newgrange stands as a preeminent beacon of prehistoric culture. This Neolithic marvel, predating Stonehenge and the pyramids of Egypt, was constructed around 3200 BC. Its architectural and astronomical precision speaks volumes about the ingenuity of its creators, revealing a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos that challenges our perceptions of ancient societies. At the heart of Newgrange is a massive circular mound, sprawling across about an acre, with a diameter of approximately 85 meters and a height of 13.5 meters. This structure houses a long passage stretching about 19 meters into the mound, leading to a cruciform chamber. The chamber's core-built roof, still waterproof after millennia, stands as a testament to the remarkable skill of its builders. Yet the true genius of Newgrange lies in its astronomical alignment. Each year during the winter solstice, sunlight streams through the roof box above the entrance, bathing the inner chamber in light for about 17 minutes. This stunning phenomenon underscores a profound connection with the solar calendar, illuminating the builder's deep astronomical knowledge. The purpose and symbolism behind Newgrange's alignment with the winter solstice have been subjects of fascination. Many believe it symbolized the rebirth of the sun, marking a period of renewal and rejuvenation. This alignment may have also represented a time when the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest, facilitating communication with the ancestors or deities. The discovery of human bones and grave goods within suggests that Newgrange served as a sacred space for burial or ancestor worship, playing a significant role in ceremonies related to life, death, and the cycles of nature. Drawing an intriguing parallel, let's consider Göbekli Tepe in present-day Turkey, a site that predates Newgrange by several millennia.
It's going to require us to reconsider our whole dating sequence on megalithic sites.
Known as the world's oldest temple complex, Göbekli Tepe's massive stone pillars arranged in circles and adorned with intricate carvings suggest an early form of star worship or an attempt to mark significant celestial events. Despite the vast differences in age and cultural background, both Newgrange and Göbekli Tepe exhibit advanced architectural techniques and a keen understanding of astronomical phenomena. Their construction not only served practical or ritualistic purposes, but also symbolized a deeper connection between the earthly realm and the cosmos. The spiritual and ceremonial significance of both sites likely made them focal points for gatherings and rituals, marking them as places where the community could engage with the divine. These ancient structures, through their enduring presence and the mysteries they hold, continue to draw us in, offering a window into the minds of those who built them, and a reminder of humanity's eternal fascination with the stars and the natural cycles that govern life on Earth.
An example I often give is the Indus Valley civilization. Nobody actually knew that it existed until it was accidentally discovered while a railway was built. And then they found that there were these actually very, very sophisticated, very complex mud brick structures on a very large scale. Then they found that this culture had had a language, a fully developed written script. We can't read that script. The script exists, but we can't read it.
The story of the Indus Valley civilization, one of the earliest cradles of urban life, reads like a mystery novel filled with climatic twists, geological turns, and the shadowy figures of invaders. As we dive deep into the annals of ancient history, this civilization's gradual fade from the vibrant urban entity it once was around 1900 BCE to mere remnants by 1300 BCE has puzzled scholars and history buffs alike. Let's explore some of the intriguing theories that have emerged over the years for why this civilization suddenly vanished. Imagine living in a city where the once reliable monsoon rains start becoming erratic around 2200 BCE. This wasn't just inconvenient, it was catastrophic. The Indus Valley people, whose agricultural prowess depended on these rains, faced reduced yields and possibly famine as a result. Imagine rivers, the lifelines of your trade and agriculture, changing course due to tectonic shifts. Cities that were once bustling hubs of trade and culture could no longer sustain their populations. This wasn't just about less water for crops. Entire trade routes were disrupted, especially those with Mesopotamia, putting further strain on an already struggling economy. Now add to this scenario the threat of earthquakes. These weren't just minor tremors, but possibly significant quakes that could alter river courses, destroy sophisticated drainage systems, and turn well-planned cities into inhabitable ruins. The very foundations of urban life were literally and figuratively shaken. For a time, the theory of an invasion by nomadic Aryans gained traction, suggesting a dramatic end to the Indus Valley civilization. This theory, rooted in ancient texts like the Rig Veda, depicted a clash between the invading nomads and the settled peoples of the Indus Valley. However, the absence of clear archaeological evidence of such an invasion suggests that the civilization's decline was more a slow burn than a sudden collapse. Amidst these external pressures, internal societal and economic factors were at play. The strain of maintaining extensive urban centers alongside depleting resources could have led to social unrest and made these cities unsustainable. As trade with distant lands dwindled, possibly due to emerging competitors or shifts in trade routes, the economic backbone of the civilization weakened. When the British were laying down the tracks for the Indian railway system in the 19th century, they stumbled upon something extraordinary: ruins made of well-crafted bricks in the Punjab region. Little did they know, these bricks were the remnants of the Indus Valley civilization, a society that had vanished thousands of years before. At first, these ancient bricks found a new purpose under the wheels of progress, quite literally being used in railway construction. It's a bit ironic when you think about it, an ancient civilization helping to lay the foundations for modern transportation, all while its own story was buried in oblivion. Enter Alexander Cunningham in the 1870s, a man who could be seen as a detective in the realm of history. As the founder of the Archaeological Survey of India, Cunningham was among the first to take a scholarly interest in these ruins. However, even with his reports, the true significance of what they had found wasn't fully grasped. The pieces of the puzzle were there, but the picture was yet to be seen. The plot thickens with Sir John Marshall, who took the helm of the ASI in the early 20th century. Under Marshall's direction, the ASI turned its gaze to the prehistoric past, setting the stage for a discovery that would challenge the narratives of urban civilization's origins. It was Daya Ramsani who, in 1921, began excavating at Harappa, and soon after, Rakal Das Banerjee laid bare the wonders of Mohenjo-Daro. These sites revealed to the world a civilization of astonishing complexity and sophistication, with well-planned cities, advanced drainage systems, and a plethora of artifacts that spoke of a rich cultural life. The discoveries of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro were like opening a window to an ancient world, showcasing the architectural and cultural achievements of the Indus Valley civilization. This was a society that had its unique script still undeciphered, and urban planning that could rival any contemporary city today. The Great Bath of Mohenjo-Daro, with its watertight construction, hinted at a society that placed significant emphasis on cleanliness and possibly ritual purification. As more archaeologists joined the fray, Ernest Mackay, Madho Sarup Vats, and Mortimer Wheeler to name a few, the knowledge of this ancient civilization expanded. Each excavation across the Indus Valley region brought new insights. The narrative of the Indus Valley civilization challenged the then prevailing notion that complex urban life began solely with Mesopotamia and Egypt. Here was evidence of a parallel society that had flourished and then, for reasons still debated, declined and disappeared, leaving behind a legacy buried under the earth. Let's take a stroll back in time to explore Harappa, a city that once thrived in what's now the Punjab province of Pakistan. This ancient metropolis wasn't just any old city, it was a cornerstone of the Indus Valley civilization, bustling with life between 2600 BCE and 1900 BCE. The story of Harappa's discovery is as fascinating as the city itself. Initially spotted during the 19th century, it wasn't until the British were laying down railway tracks in the 1850s that Harappa began to reveal its secrets. Ironically, bricks from this ancient city were used in the construction of the railway, unknowingly dismantling a piece of history for the sake of progress. Fast forward to the 1920s, when Sir John Marshall and his team of archaeologists took a closer look and realized Harappa was part of something much bigger. They uncovered a city so advanced it would rewrite our understanding of urban planning in ancient times. Imagine walking through streets laid out in a perfect grid, with main roads up to 30 feet wide intersecting at right angles. This wasn't a haphazard settlement. It was a city built with precision and forethought, showcasing remarkable engineering skills. Harappa's infrastructure was nothing short of revolutionary. The city boasted an advanced drainage system, with covered drains along the main streets and smaller ones connecting from individual homes. This emphasis on cleanliness and public health is something many modern cities could learn from, and the buildings, all constructed with standardized baked bricks, stood as a testament to the Harappans' knowledge of materials engineering, giving the city a unified look. But Harappa wasn't just about impressive streets and sanitation. The city was alive with bustling granaries, which were central to its food storage and distribution system. These weren't just any granaries. They were massive structures located near the city's heart, hinting at a well-organized governance system that ensured the population was well-fed. Diving into the everyday lives of Harappans, we find a society that valued comfort and cleanliness. Houses, ranging from simple dwellings to more elaborate homes, often had their own wells and bathrooms. This level of domestic luxury suggests a society where social stratification was present, but also one that placed a high importance on individual welfare. And then there are the artifacts, the seals engraved with animal figures and an undeciphered script that hint at a complex system of communication, trade, administration, or perhaps even ritual. The pottery and tools unearthed in Harappa, from utility wares to beautifully decorated pieces, reflect the diverse occupations and crafts practiced in the city, painting a picture of a vibrant, bustling community. Harappa was more than just a city. It was a beacon of urban civilization, showcasing advancements that were unparalleled for its time. Its discovery and excavation have not only provided us with a glimpse into ancient urban life, but also challenged our perceptions of ancient civilizations and their capabilities. Nestled in the Sindh province of Pakistan lies Mohenjo-Daro, a site that's not just an archaeological treasure but a testament to the architectural genius of the Indus Valley civilization. This city, one of the most iconic remnants of ancient urban life, gives us a sneak peek into the lives of its people, their societal structure, and their unparalleled urban planning. The city was cleverly divided into two main areas: the lower city, bustling with residential and commercial life, and the Acropolis, where public and ceremonial buildings stood. This division speaks volumes about the level of organization and planning that went into Mohenjo-Daro. It wasn't just a cluster of buildings, it was a thoughtfully laid out city, designed for efficiency and order, with distinct zones dedicated to different aspects of daily life. But let's talk about the Great Bath, the crown jewel of Mohenjo-Daro. Imagine a large, watertight pool, meticulously constructed for religious purification rituals. Surrounded by corridors and rooms, the Great Bath wasn't just an architectural marvel. It was a central piece of the city's spiritual and communal life, emphasizing the importance of water not just for survival, but as a sacred element in their culture. The people of Mohenjo-Daro were master craftsmen, their skills shining through in the intricate beadwork, finely crafted metal objects, and beautiful pottery discovered at the site. These artifacts were not merely utilitarian. They bore the marks of artistic excellence and possibly held deeper symbolic meanings for their creators. The variety and quality of these items suggest a society that valued not only function, but form and beauty, integrating them into their everyday lives. Moreover, Mohenjo-Daro was a bustling economic center. The numerous seals, weights, and measures found among the ruins hint at a complex economy that thrived on both local and long-distance trade. This was a city that was not isolated. It was connected, engaging in commerce with distant lands, showcasing its economic prowess and its role as a significant player in the ancient world. Mohenjo-Daro, with its advanced urban planning and sophisticated architectural elements, stands as a shining example of the ingenuity of the Indus Valley civilization.
I believe that it's worth considering the possibility of a remote common ancestor, which passed down key information that was inherited by later cultures. I'm willing to accept that the Great Pyramid was largely completed by the ancient Egyptians. But remember that the ancient Egyptians tell us in many of their texts that everything they knew was a legacy.
Imagine stepping back in time, way before the majestic pyramids of Egypt were ever conceived, and finding yourself exploring the Blombos Cave on the southern coast of South Africa. Discovered in the 1990s by Professor Christopher Henshelwood, this cave has turned out to be a treasure trove of artifacts dating back about 100,000 years to the Middle Stone Age, offering a unique glimpse into early human culture.
Are we looking at the traces of a forgotten episode in human history? I think so. I think that's what's going on here.
The variety of artifacts found in Blombos Cave is nothing short of astounding. Among these treasures are some of the earliest known bone tools. These weren't just rudimentary tools, but were delicately crafted, indicating a high level of skill and an advanced understanding of materials long before similar tools appeared in other parts of the world. The sophistication in these tools suggests that early humans were far more advanced than previously thought. But the artifacts don't stop there. The cave has also yielded pieces of ochre engraved with geometric patterns. Far from being mere decorations, these engravings are believed to represent some of the earliest forms of symbolic communication and abstract art, hinting at the complex cognitive abilities of their creators.
There's more and more evidence that cave art that was attributed to Homo sapiens was actually done by Neanderthals.
This ability to think abstractly and to plan suggests a significant leap in human cognitive development, often referred to as the cognitive revolution. Moreover, the discovery of shell beads in the cave points to a culture that valued personal adornment and possibly had social or ritualistic practices involving these items. These beads could have been used in necklaces or bracelets, potentially serving as a form of currency or social stratification. When we compare these ancient engravings to the later, more detailed Lascaux cave paintings in France, a fascinating picture emerges. Although the Lascaux paintings, which date to about 17,000 years ago, are more visually complex, the abstract patterns and use of materials like ochre at Blombos may represent an earlier form of the same cognitive evolution towards symbolic thought and communication. This comparison not only underscores the continuity in human artistic endeavors, but also highlights the depth and richness of human creativity from its very beginnings. These findings from Blombos Cave challenge our previous assumptions about prehistoric humans and provide deep insights into the evolution of human cognition, artistic expression, and social structures. They paint a picture of a complex, nuanced society engaged in sophisticated practices and thought processes long before many other known civilizations. Let's travel from the ancient ingenuity displayed in South Africa's Blombos Cave to another fascinating archaeological site, Çatalhöyük in south-central Turkey. Discovered by James Mellart in the late 1950s and later excavated by Ian Hodder, Çatalhöyük has been a goldmine of information about Neolithic urban life. dating back between 9,500 to 7,700 years ago. Covering about 32 acres, Çatalhöyük isn't your typical ancient city. The settlement was incredibly well planned, with houses made of mud bricks built so close to each other that the roofs served dual purposes: ceilings for the dwellings they topped, and terraces for the adjacent upper levels. This unique architectural style suggests a highly organized society with no clear signs of social stratification, which is pretty unusual for such an early form of urban development. The residents of Çatalhöyük had a vibrant cultural life, as evidenced by the elaborate frescoes adorning the walls of their homes. These murals, which are among the earliest known examples of narrative art, depict detailed hunting scenes and vultures, providing a window into the community's beliefs, rituals, and the environment around them. Religion appears to have played a central role in daily life at Çatalhöyük. This is indicated by the numerous figurines and shrines unearthed during excavations, with a notable prevalence of female symbols and figures suggesting potentially matriarchal elements in their social structure. One of the most intriguing theories about Çatalhöyük is that it might have been an egalitarian society. The uniformity in house size and communal living arrangements support the idea of a proto-communist social order, where there wasn't a significant emphasis on social hierarchy. This is further backed by the absence of grand tombs or palatial structures, which are usually indicative of pronounced social stratification. These comparisons not only highlight the diversity in how early urban societies could be structured and function, but also enrich our understanding of human social evolution. As we delve deeper into these ancient cities, we continue to uncover how our ancestors lived, worked, and formed communities, providing valuable insights into the past that shape our knowledge of human history. The story of the Derinkuyu underground city in Cappadocia, Turkey, reads like something out of a fascinating mystery novel, complete with accidental discoveries and architectural wonders.
It's really important to understand that archaeology is often driven by accidental finds.
Located in a region celebrated for its unique geological features, particularly the soft volcanic rock that has been easily sculpted for millennia, Derinkuyu is the largest of the many underground cities carved into this landscape. Our tale begins in 1963, when an ordinary homeowner in Derinkuyu, known only to a few, decided to make some home improvements. Little did he know that knocking down a wall in his basement would open a door to the past. Behind the wall was a passage that led to a complex network of rooms and tunnels extending deep beneath the earth. What the homeowner had discovered was not a simple series of rooms, but an elaborate subterranean city that stretched down as much as 85 meters and included at least 18 levels. This ancient city wasn't just a refuge. It was a fully functional community with everything from homes and communal gathering places to schools, places of worship, and tombs. When local authorities were alerted to the find, archaeologists rushed to explore this underground marvel. They were astounded to discover that Derinkuyu could have supported as many as 20,000 people along with their animals and stored food. The city's design was remarkably sophisticated, with ventilation shafts that ensured fresh air could reach even the deepest levels, similar to modern-day air conditioning systems. The city's architecture suggested that its creators were not only skilled builders, but also clever strategists. Massive stone doors could be rolled across passageways to seal off the city from invaders, and narrow tunnels would have forced any intruders to enter in single file, making them easier to defend against. Derinkuyu's design is often compared to the labyrinth of Minos from Greek mythology, intended to confuse or trap unwanted guests with its complex layout and her minimal exits. This feature, along with its ventilation and security measures, highlights a level of planning and engineering that parallels the sophistication of certain modern infrastructures. The Altamira cave, nestled in the picturesque Cantabria region of northern Spain, was brought to international attention in 1879 by Marcelino Sanz de Sotuola, who famously declared, that its stunning cave paintings were of prehistoric origin. This initial claim faced a great deal of skepticism, but was eventually verified, proving the paintings to be an astonishing 36,000 years old, dating back to the Upper Paleolithic period. Renowned for their vivid depiction of wild mammals and human hands, the paintings of Altamira are celebrated for their vibrant polychrome techniques. Artists of the time utilized an impressive palette created from charcoal, ochre, and hematite to produce colors ranging from deep blacks and yellows to rich reds. These pigments were not just randomly splashed on, but were applied meticulously with tools like fingers, fur pads, or flint tools, pointing to a sophisticated understanding of materials and methods. The subjects of these paintings, mainly bison, horses, and boars, are portrayed with a remarkable sense of movement and dimensionality that is rarely seen in other Paleolithic art. This dynamic portrayal suggests that these creatures were not only important food sources, but also held a significant place in the cultural and spiritual life of the people. The detailed depiction of their anatomy and behavior reflects a deep observational skill and suggests that the artists were highly knowledgeable about their subjects. The realism and artistry of Altamira's cave paintings, especially the famous bison scenes, highlight the painters' extraordinary skills and their keen eye for detail. Some scholars believe that these paintings were used in rituals or shamanistic practices aimed at ensuring a successful hunt or invoking animal spirits, indicating that the cave might have been a place of great spiritual importance. Altamira's artists mastered the art of creating depth and movement through adept shading and contouring, focusing more on realism and possibly the spiritual connection between the human and animal worlds.
Nobody actually knew that it existed until it was accidentally discovered. It's about 5,000 years old, and we can't read that script. The script exists, but we can't read it. So there could be all kinds of information in that script.
Discoveries of ancient texts in Egypt have significantly expanded our understanding of ancient civilizations, particularly those of ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome. These discoveries span various genres, including religious, scientific, literary, and philosophical texts, opening our eyes to ancient moments you had to be there to believe. In 1799, during Napoleon's ambitious campaign in Egypt, a remarkable discovery was made by French soldiers near the town of Rosetta, now known as Rashid. They unearthed a granodiorite slab, dark and hard, which would come to be recognized as one of the most significant archaeological finds in history, the Rosetta Stone. This discovery was monumental not just for its immediate impact, but for the doors it would open in the field of Egyptology. The Rosetta Stone, dating back to 196 BC, bears a decree issued in Memphis in honor of King Ptolemy V. What makes the stone extraordinary is its trilingual inscription. The same message is conveyed in hieroglyphics, the script used for religious documents, Demotic, the common script of Egypt, and Ancient Greek, the language of the ruling administration at the time. This feature of the Rosetta Stone provided the crucial breakthrough in deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphs, which had been a long-standing mystery. Jean-François Champollion, a French scholar, made the groundbreaking realization in 1822 that by comparing the Greek text, which was already understood, with the hieroglyphic and demotic texts, he could unlock the ancient Egyptian language. The text inscribed on the Rosetta Stone is essentially a piece of propaganda, extolling the virtues of Ptolemy V's reign. It commands that the decree be displayed in temples across Egypt, highlighting the practice of disseminating such declarations in prominent religious and public spaces. This aspect of the Rosetta Stone reveals much about the political and religious workings of Ptolemaic Egypt, illustrating how rulers use such inscriptions to communicate with and influence their subjects. Today, the Rosetta Stone is often heralded as the world's most famous slab of stone, a symbol of the key to unlocking the mysteries of ancient Egypt. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, dating back to around 1550 to 50 BC, offers an extraordinary glimpse into the spiritual life of ancient Egypt. Unlike what its name might suggest, the Book of the Dead is not a singular book, but a collection of spells, prayers, magical formulas, and incantations, meticulously crafted to guide the deceased through the underworld, known as Duat, and into the afterlife. These texts, written on papyrus, were often included in the burial chambers, personalized for each individual, with spells selected for their perceived usefulness in navigating the afterlife. The evolution of these funerary texts, from the pyramid texts intended for royalty to the coffin texts, and eventually to the Book of the Dead, accessible to the wider population, marks a significant shift in ancient Egyptian religious and social practices. This transition indicates a democratization of the afterlife, suggesting changes in societal structures and religious beliefs where eternal life was no longer a privilege of the pharaohs, but a possibility for all. The spells within the Book of the Dead paint a vivid picture of the ancient Egyptians' beliefs regarding the afterlife, including the trials the deceased would face, such as the judgment before Osiris, the god of the afterlife. This collection of texts is invaluable for understanding ancient Egyptian religion, mythology, and views on life after death, portraying a complex belief system where the dead could continue to interact with the living and the gods. When juxtaposed with the Rosetta Stone, the Book of the Dead offers a different kind of bridge to the ancient past. The Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799 and instrumental in deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphs, unlocked the ability to read countless texts from ancient Egypt, thus opening up a broader understanding of Egyptian civilization. In contrast, the Book of the Dead delves into the spiritual and religious beliefs of the ancient Egyptians, offering insights into their perceptions of death, the afterlife, and divinity. Though the Rosetta Stone and the Book of the Dead differ significantly, one being a bilingual decree and the other a compilation of funerary texts, they collectively illuminate the complexity of ancient Egyptian civilization. The Rosetta Stone reveals the administrative and political landscape, while the Book of the Dead provides a profound understanding of the spiritual and religious depth of this ancient culture. Diving into the intellectual and spiritual depths of ancient Egyptian civilization, two cornerstone documents stand out for their profound contributions: the pyramid texts and the rhind mathematical papyrus. Each in its own domain showcases the advanced understanding and the multifaceted nature of Egyptian life, spanning the realms of religion and mathematics. The pyramid texts, dating back to around 2400 to 2300 BC, hold the distinction of being the world's oldest religious texts. Inscribed within the pyramids, viewed by the ancient Egyptians not merely as tombs but as portals to the afterlife, these texts served a crucial purpose. They were intended to secure the pharaoh's divine status after death, offering guidance through the underworld to achieve eternal life among the gods. With over 700 spells, the pyramid texts laid the foundation for future Egyptian funerary practices, as seen in the evolution of the coffin texts and the Book of the Dead. Initially reserved for pharaohs, the democratization of these texts over time reflects a significant shift, suggesting an evolving conception of the afterlife that eventually embraced all Egyptians, not just the elite. In contrast, the rhind mathematical papyrus from around 1550 BC delves into the pragmatic and analytical world of mathematics. Named after Alexander Henry Rhind, who acquired it in 1858, this document served an educational purpose. It trained scribes in arithmetic, algebra, and geometry, encompassing practical problems relevant to surveying, architecture, and resource distribution. This papyrus not only demonstrates the Egyptians' prowess in fractions and linear equations, but also hints at their early approximation of pi, underscoring the practical implications of their mathematical knowledge in daily life and state administration. While the pyramid texts are steeped in the spiritual and esoteric, aimed at guiding the deceased through the afterlife, the rhind mathematical papyrus is grounded in the practical and worldly, focusing on mathematical education for administrative efficiency. Yet both documents illuminate the sophistication of ancient Egyptian society from different angles. The pyramid texts reflect the deep religious beliefs and funerary customs that shaped Egyptians' views on life, death, and the hereafter. Meanwhile, the rhind papyrus reveals the pragmatic application of mathematical principles in managing the state's affairs, from architecture to the distribution of resources, highlighting the integral role of mathematics in the governance and organization of ancient Egypt. Together, the pyramid texts and the rhind mathematical papyrus underscore ancient Egypt's remarkable advancements in understanding both the divine and the empirical. In 1945, near the Egyptian town of Nag Hammadi, a discovery was made that would significantly widen the lens through which we view early Christian thought. A local farmer named Muhammad al-Saman unearthed a sealed jar containing a collection of texts that shed light on the Gnostic beliefs flourishing in the 3rd and 4th centuries AD. Written in Coptic, these texts were hidden away, likely by a community that held them dear at odds with the mainstream Christian authorities of their time. The Nag Hammadi library is a fascinating compilation, ranging from Gospels and philosophical treatises to Revelations. It dives into deep theological debates and spiritual practices that stood apart from the orthodox teachings of the early church, emphasizing a personal connection and knowledge of the divine, known as gnosis. Among its treasures is the Gospel of Thomas, notable for its 114 sayings of Jesus. This text in particular contains parallels to the canonical Gospels, but also introduces teachings that were not included in the Bible as we know it, offering new perspectives on Jesus' words and teachings. The discovery of these texts has challenged traditional narratives of early Christian history, unveiling the rich tapestry of beliefs that existed alongside what would become Orthodox Christianity. The Nag Hammadi texts paint a picture of a vibrant, albeit contested, religious landscape where various groups and sects struggled for spiritual authority and legitimacy. The act of burying these texts might have been a desperate measure by a community under threat, aiming to preserve their spiritual heritage against the dominating force of Orthodox Christianity. When compared to the canonical New Testament, the Nag Hammadi texts stand out for several reasons. They bring to light the theological diversity that characterized early Christianity, offering views on mysticism, the cosmos, and the nature of divinity that diverge significantly from the orthodox path. For instance, their portrayal of Jesus often contrasts with that of the canonical Gospels, presenting him more as a spiritual entity and questioning the physical aspects of his crucifixion and resurrection. Additionally, while the canonical Gospels derive their authority from their apostolic origins, the texts from Nag Hammadi often claim apostolic or even divine authorship as a means to assert their legitimacy and authority.
This is something, again, that's not widely known. A Judaic community in Ethiopia, they say that their ancestors brought the Ark of the Covenant to Ethiopia.
We're told this in great depth in the Bible and how dangerous that energy is. Well, this concept of winged figures is also very much part of the ancient Egyptian heritage.
So, what exactly is this Ark of the Covenant that everyone keeps talking about? Well, the Bible describes it as a pretty impressive piece of religious furniture. Imagine a chest made of wood but completely overlaid with gold. And that's not all. It had a fancy lid with two golden angels facing each other. But its importance wasn't about its bling factor. Inside this chest were the stone tablets containing the 10 Commandments, the foundation of the agreement between God and his chosen people. The Ark wasn't just a box, it was the holiest of holies. It represented God's presence among them. The Bible even gives super specific instructions on how it should be built and handled. Only certain priests were allowed to carry it, and they had to use poles, so no direct touching. Initially, the Ark was kept in a portable tent-like structure called the Tabernacle during their desert travels. Later, it got a permanent upgrade when King Solomon built his temple in Jerusalem, where it rested in the super-sacred inner sanctum. For centuries, the Ark of the Covenant has been a source of endless fascination. This legendary golden chest, as described in the Bible, housed the tablets of the 10 Commandments and symbolized God's presence among his people. But since its disappearance after the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem, its fate has been shrouded in mystery. Now imagine the headlines. Scientists have pinpointed the Ark's location, ready to reveal one of the greatest archaeological discoveries ever. Or have they? The world of Ark of the Covenant theories is a tangled web of historical speculation, passionate belief, and some outright wild ideas. While serious scholars generally focus on the likely destruction of the Ark in antiquity, the excitement of uncovering this legendary artifact leads to an array of persistent, if often far-fetched, claims about its whereabouts. Let's dive into the supposed secret locations and why the fascination with the Ark refuses to die. Jerusalem, the heart of the Ark's story, remains a prime focus of speculation. The Temple Mount, the site of the ancient Jewish temples, is a maze of tunnels and chambers. Could the Ark be hidden in these unexplored depths? Some historical anecdotes lend a sliver of credence to this idea. Prior to the Roman siege in 70 AD, Jewish priests might have taken extraordinary measures to protect the Ark. This opens the door to legends of secret passages and hidden vaults beneath the sacred site. For the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, the question of the Ark's location is settled. They believe it resides in the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion in Aksum. According to their tradition, the Ark was brought to Ethiopia by Menelik I, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. The Ark is never displayed and is closely guarded, making verification of this claim impossible. However, even the possibility of the Ark's existence in Ethiopia holds immense religious importance as a tangible connection to the object at the heart of Jewish and Christian traditions. Where mainstream archaeology often reaches a dead end, conspiracy theories rush in. One popular narrative involves the Knights Templar, medieval warrior monks who amassed wealth and influence during the Crusades. Did they uncover the Ark in Jerusalem and bring it back to Europe? Though there's no historical support. This idea fuels thrilling stories like the Da Vinci Code, where secret societies and hidden lineages protect the Ark and its supposed extraordinary power. Beyond the Templars, other groups like the Freemasons get drawn into the orbit of the Ark of the Covenant. Conspiracy theorists often imagine these societies as possessing esoteric knowledge, wielding the Ark as a tool of influence or hiding it for their own ends. Some theories go fully into the realm of the fantastical. Think of the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the Ark possesses terrifying destructive might. These ideas stem from biblical passages warning of the danger of approaching the Ark improperly. Could it be a weapon? A repository of supernatural energy? For some, these exaggerated readings open the door to outlandish speculations. The supposed locations of the Ark take us on a global tour. Some theories link the Ark to the Lemba people of southern Africa, who have cultural practices and genetic markers suggesting a possible Middle Eastern origin. Did their ancestors bring the Ark with them on a long-ago migration? Other legends place the Ark in Rome, plundered by the legions who sacked Jerusalem in 70 AD, and rumored to lie hidden beneath the churches or even within the Vatican's vast archives. Stranger still, some claims take the Ark off-planet entirely, painting its origins as extraterrestrial technology gifted to ancient humanity. The classic rectangular chest shape sometimes draws comparisons to Egyptian ritual boxes as well. The Ark's allure persists in its unique blend of power, danger, and the thrill of an unresolved mystery. But where does this perception of power come from? And how has it shaped our understanding of the Ark across time? The Bible itself is the source of the Ark's awe-inspiring reputation. It's not just an object, it's described as a conduit for divine presence. The elaborate rituals for handling it and the stories of dire consequences for touching it, like the unfortunate Uzzah, reinforce the idea that this wasn't merely a fancy storage container. While mainstream science rejects the notion of the Ark as a literal weapon, it doesn't stop some outlandish theories. Ideas about electrical charges, radioactivity, or unknown materials try to explain away the Ark's biblical effects. Whether credible or not, these attempts add to the Ark's mystique. There's always that lingering question in the back of one's mind. What if? Fascinatingly, the concept of sacred chests isn't unique to the Israelites. Ancient Egypt brimmed with portable deity shrines, and other cultures used similar boxes in religious processions. Could the Ark, rather than being wholly unique, be part of a broader cultural tradition from its time period? This adds another layer of complexity and historical grounding to the Ark's story. Even in other Abrahamic faiths, echoes of the Ark's significance linger. The Quran's references to a sacred chest with relics could be a trace of shared tradition. The Baha'i faith goes even further, transforming the Ark entirely into a metaphor for the divine knowledge revealed by prophets throughout history. This shows how potent the Ark's core symbolism remains. Over time, did the Ark shift from a physical object to a symbol of the covenant itself? Replicas might have existed, powerful in their spiritual weight even if no longer containing the original tablets. Medieval art depicts the Ark with dramatic flair, influencing modern representations despite often diverging from biblical descriptions. And of course, pop culture loves the Ark. Remember Indiana Jones and his face-melting encounter? It's the perfect mix of historical enigma and a touch of the supernatural, a guaranteed recipe for a thrilling adventure. This potent mix of history, mystery, and the sheer potential for thrilling narratives keeps the Ark's flame alive. But why does the Ark of the Covenant hold such power over our imaginations? Here's the key. Historical gaps exist. Its disappearance during a turbulent time leaves ample space for speculation. Did it perish? Does it lay waiting to be unearthed? The uncertainty is a blank canvas where theories can easily take root. Whether one approaches the Ark from a perspective of faith or historical curiosity, it represents something profound, a connection to the divine, a symbol of God's covenant with the Israelites, or a relic of a bygone era. This emotional and spiritual dimension adds fuel to the quest. Secret societies, hidden clues, quests against the odds, all these elements make for gripping tales. The Ark is embedded in a storytelling tradition that, while not always historically accurate, is undeniably captivating. Deep down, we are drawn to the unsolved, the mysterious. The Ark, straddling history and legend, is the ultimate archaeological puzzle that may never have a definitive answer. While scientists discover makes for a thrilling headline, it's crucial to inject a dose of realism into the Ark of the Covenant narrative. Most reputable archaeologists view the Babylonian destruction of the first temple in 587 BC as the most likely end of the Ark. While not impossible, the survival of an intricately crafted, gold-covered wooden object over millennia, through battles and sieges, seems improbable. Locations based on legends often lack physical evidence to support archaeological exploration. Claims need tangible proof to transition from speculation to scientific process. Additionally, many of the places rumored to hold the Ark are actively used for worship. The search cannot come at the expense of violating religious sensitivities or disrupting communities built on deeply held beliefs. The Ark of the Covenant sits fascinatingly on the line between history, faith, and the enduring human desire to uncover the extraordinary. It's unlikely that any future discovery will fully satisfy everyone. After all, the enduring power of the Ark rests partly in its enigma. Is there a chance the Ark is still out there? Perhaps. But the true treasure might lie in what this ongoing search reveals about ourselves, our need for stories, our reverence for the past, and our unending capacity for wonder.